attackers an
Johnny,
opportunity.
you mentioned
at
the way
all.
the ball was picked up a minute ago. A basic skill, but executed so well, and that seems to be the difference at the minute. They're coming out, they're hooking, they're not giving if St Enda's make one little mistake at all, one flaw, they're punished.
Yeah, and it's probably just the quality of that final pass. They're just popping the ball off, and it's going to feet. It's just not going to hand often enough. And for an attacker to be able to get that shot away, he needs that extra second to get the ball in his hand. And at the minute, St Enda's just aren't able to even get a shot away. But yeah, that's a credit to Dunloy. They're starting to up the ante and up the work rate. And Maskey's trying to come out with this. He's starting to come into the game. But Nigel Elliott's got onto this one. His brother Sean also starting to come into the game. But they've done well that time. The force of numbers just kept them out. This time over towards Niall O'Connor. And they really need Niall O'Connor to get up the field. He's at his own 21 and has to pop it back to his goalie. His goalie does well here this time. Cormac Jennings. Jennings with time and space changes the play right over to that far right hand side towards Donachie. But again, it's 3-on-2. Again, and that's what Dunloy are so good at. If you look who's back there, that's Paul Shields, who's playing almost like an extra half back. And it must be frustrating for that St Enda's attack, because every time they go for a ball, it looks as if there's 3-4 Dunloy men around them. And as you can see, they are playing Paul Shields as that sort of almost like a sitting half back in there. And he's certainly adding a lot of weight and numbers, and that's leaving more space up front for the very dangerous Dunloy attack. So 25 minutes gone. Sean Elliott, who's got 3 points to his name so far, has dropped way back. As you can see, he's well inside his own half again. He must be all of 100 metres. Strikes this one. That looks better. That looks as if it's gone straight between the posts and straight over the head of Niall McGivern for his 4th point of the night. And as I say it again, we are probably now 15 minutes since St Enda's last score. And that is what is killing them at the minute. And again, that puck out by Niall McGivern, it's just the quality of that puck out. That puck out really needs to go to hand. He's putting his defence under all sorts of pressure. But that time, his defender done really well. Managed to escape the tackles and got out, and he's won a good free. And it really is an important free, this one, Jerome. As Niall O'Connor comes, and you can see he's just on his own 65, but the distance will be no problem for him whatsoever. And it's going to be a really important score, and a score St Enda's really need at this moment in time. He hits it, but he doesn't hit it particularly well. I don't think it's going to make it. It doesn't make it. Delivered in, pulled on it first time on the ground by the St Enda's man, but only first there is Owen McFerrin, but that time he popped it off to Shields, who dropped it. Again, Keelan Malloy in there, so steady and so cool under pressure. Flicks this one out to Nicky McCaig. McCaig with time and space, looks back inside. He's going to pin it into Sean Elliott. Elliott with time and space drives this one, but looks to have driven it to the right and driven it wide. And again, maybe Dunloy have just gone a little bit comfortable again, and the game just maybe seems sometimes almost too easy for them, but a little bit of lack of concentration there. And they let another score slip by. 12 points Dunloy, 7 points St Enda's. This one's down the line in towards Luke O'Connor, and that's a better pass, giving him an opportunity to play. Hangs this one up, hopefully on his right hand side. That looks like a brilliant score, and it is a brilliant score from Luke O'Connor. Very much needed from Luke O'Connor at this stage. Brings it back to a 4-point game. And
their scores have to be worldies.
Yeah, and to be honest, you're right. That's exactly what they're having to do. They're having to hang scores up from the sideline and score from all sorts of angles, whereas Dunloy are just making it look so much easier. Here's Nicky McCaig again, pops it out to Ryan McCaig. You can see the difference. Every pass is just going straight to hand, and it's given the man that time, and it's given Ryan McGarry the time and space to do that. If that pass goes to his feet, he doesn't have time to straighten up. He doesn't have time to get the shot away, and that's been the difference so far. It's just been more clinical from Dunloy. The passes are all going to hand. That's better from Niall McGivern. Those puck-outs need to go to hand. This time, Jeremy Maguire pins it down, but again, it's a 2-on-1 over there to Dunloy. This time, first on to it. It's Keelan Malloy again, wearing that. Probably unusual for everyone to see him wearing number 6. Of course, he's half forward more often. Paul Shields this time with another opportunity in his right-hand side. This looks to be going to the right, and it's going well to the right and well wide. And it's probably another bad wide for Dunloy. And again, I'll say it, and we said it at half-time in the Ballycastle match, they have been a little bit wasteful up front, Dunloy, and that's something that they'll definitely want to be working on and something they'll want to improve as the championship goes on. over towards a corner this time. Ryan McGarry does really well over there. Loses his stick but keeps working, and he does well. Gets it to Oran Quinn. Quinn steps out, flicks it down the sideline towards Luke McFerrin. McFerrin will take this and maybe try and pop it off to his brother who's running inside, or he may go himself, but he loses out again. Ronan Eager does really, really well in there. And they're in working so hard. Nigel Elliott maybe caught round the head. He was caught round the head, and that's definitely a foul. And I think Ray Matthews is going to call over Cormac Jennings here, and probably just for what it was, just because it was round the head and maybe deemed dangerous. I don't think it was particularly dangerous or particularly nasty or harmful, but again, by the letter of the law, as we found out a few weeks ago, anything above the neck seems to be being cracked down on pretty hard by the referees. And Ray Matthews has given, that's the second St Enda's defender to pick up a yellow card, so they do need to be careful. Sean Elliott with an opportunity to put his side 6 points to the good. He's about 40 metres out, drills this one on his right hand side and drills it perfectly between the posts for his 5th of the night. 14 points Dunloy, 8 points.
Yeah, 6 in it, Johnny, and they've had 3 goal chances, you know, so they've raised it when they've had it to. They've had bad wides, but I mean, they could be a street ahead.
Yeah, they really could, but that's a credit to this man. I think it's just, I think St Enda's, as you say, their scores are so much more difficult to come by. Ryan McGarry's done really well, blocks this one down towards, look, Tom McFerrin. Tom McFerrin's put that up, and that looks like a brilliant score from Tom McFerrin. That is a brilliant score by Tom McFerrin. That's his 3rd of the day. It was a brilliant block down there by Ryan McGarry. McFerrin had time and space and just turned and hung it up into the air, and he makes it a 7-point game as we just move into injury time at the end of this first half. McGivern now drives this one over to that right hand side over towards Donaghy, but again just broken down, and the first man onto it there's Paul Shields. And what St Enda's really don't want to do is concede a goal at this time. Owen O'Neill looks up, looks for his options across the field. Look at that for a brilliant ball right into Nicky McCaig. Just miscontrolled it, but still managed to get his hand on it over towards Elliott. Sean Elliott, brilliant save again in there by Niall McGivern. He's made 4 saves there, and he's really kept his team in this game, Jerome. Maskey coming out, dances into the, it's not Maskey, sorry, that's Niall O'Connor, dances right across the field. He's just probably too deep for St Enda's like, and they would much rather have him up closer to goal. This one goes over there. I think that's Owen Conlon, and as you said earlier, he's the captain, and it certainly was a captain's role he played there. Hung up, pinned a great score, 9 points now for St Enda's, 15 for Dunloy, as Ray Matthews blows his whistle. And what was a lively, certainly it was a half that started very lively for St Enda's.
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah, they came out of the traps really well, and they got the start that we said, and Dunloy probably were a little bit slow to settle, but I suppose, to be honest, Dunloy's class ultimately came through, and they're, just as you said, you actually summed it up really well, Jerome. You said that it was the ability to do the basics right, and it's just the difference between that clinical pass, getting the first pick up right, getting the pass to hand right, getting that final pass right, just allows the split second to get the shot away, and it just makes all the difference. That's probably what St Enda's need to tidy up in this second half, and if they can do that, they may be able to get back into this game.
I don't know how I read that, because I didn't see any of that half. I was just listening to you, Johnny. No, but seriously, I've had issues with trying to sort things out in the background here, and anyone who's watching on the live stream has been emailing in and messaging on Facebook, and they've had problems trying to connect. We are very sorry about that. It wasn't our fault. There's an intermediary here, and they've messed up, basically. So it's made it very difficult for people trying to get online. Some people are, some people aren't. They've been emailing in, and we've tried to answer them. What we've done now is we've put the link up to watch it free, basically. So it's on YouTube, and the link is there on the Antrim Facebook page. So if you just go on there and click on that, you don't have to go through any paywalls. You can sit and watch it even if you haven't paid for it. So it's there now, so that's the easiest way to sort this out for you, and we will get it sorted for the games over the weekend. These things happen the odd time, and honestly, they're not our fault at all, but we only found out about it just before the game, and then a lot of people just sort of sign up at the last minute, and then the problem gets a little bit worse, and that's what happens. So we tried to make it better, and there you go. But we will get it sorted for the second half. It's 6 points in it, and we'll be back shortly with that second half, and you will be able to see it on YouTube via the link there on the Antrim GEA Facebook page. So it's out there for everyone to watch, so we'll have a big audience in the second half, hopefully. Half of the middlemen who have messed up. We did warn them before the game and they haven't reacted, so a bit of a problem there. But what it means now is that everybody can watch it on YouTube. The link is there right across the social media, so obviously if you're with us you're enjoying it, but pass on the word to everyone, send them the links. You can all watch this. There's no paywall at all. We've taken that away, and yes, don't worry, we will refund you, and that will be sorted out in the next few days, so please don't message us now during the match about that. We will sort it out, and let's just enjoy the wonderful hurling. And it started very nicely for Dunloy, as it did end in the first half. Yeah, Nigel Elliott, a brilliant start there. He done the exact same in the first half, but he delivered the one in the first half, and this time he done the right thing, got into space, drove through and hit over a beautiful point on his left hand side to open up Dunloy's lead to 7 points. This man started the first half brilliantly too, Niall O'Connor. It looks as if he's done the same again this time. Burst through, ran hard, ran straight up the middle. Great score there that time by Niall O'Connor. Brilliant score in there too by Nigel Elliott. The two county men have started the second half with a bang. Ryan Elliott goes long over there towards... It's again that puck out. That one over to the wing is fantastic. Yeah, Nigel Elliott's cut through again, pops this one inside to McGarry, who's had a lovely score or two in the first half, and he gets another one to start the second half. And Dunloy have certainly started with a little bit more oomph. Maybe a bit more oomph and a bit more focus at the start of this second half. Two very, very good points and two very sharp looking points. And I think one of the things for any team playing this Dunloy team, one of the key factors to maybe trying to get on top of them is to somehow get on top of those puck outs of Ryan Elliott's. Lovely ball there and towards Jennings. Jennings steps round a couple of men. How do you do that, Johnny? I mean, how do you stop those puck outs? I mean, you can see them happening and the runs are fantastic, like, but what do you do? Yeah, I think you probably have to go and maybe allow them almost to take possession inside their own half. You definitely have to keep your half back line pretty rigid and pretty fixed. The problem for St Enda's at the minute is their half back line are chasing back, and the minute your half back line end up coming in to your own half, as you could picture that St Enda's half backs are chasing down into the other half, and what that means is there's going to be space over your head. Niall O'Connor has hit this and he's hit it well straight between the post, and that means when you go in it's going to leave a big space, and Ryan Elliott's brilliant at driving the ball over the St Enda's and over the opposition's half back line, and that's inevitably into space for his own midfielders and half backs to run onto. This time he goes out and it's a good contest in the air over there, and it's broken down this time and it's broken in towards the half forward. Mal McGibbon looks over, one of the stars of the under-20 team this year, does well, flicks this one inside to Maskey. Maskey, just as he went to pull the trigger, just lost and had the ball flicked out of his hand, but he's still going. But look at that, brilliantly defended. There was four of them there, right? Yeah. Kevin Malloy drills this one down in towards Sean Elliott, but well defended again. But Nigel Elliott does so well, gets his hand in, gets his stick in, and he's being chased. This is a goal chance. This could be a goal for McFerrin. More clinical in there that time. He went well, took it just as the goalie, unfortunately for Niall McGivern, that time he came out. And you can just see it was brilliant work by Nigel Elliott, really brilliant. He's been such a thorn in the St Enda's side. Flicked it, done well that time, took the tackle from the keeper and went low down into the bottom of the net. No chance that time for Niall McGivern. And it's now drifted away, and you can see those goals make a big difference. This time just whipped away on the ground by Ryan McGarry, done the right thing again and towards Shields. Shields pops off a lovely ball to Aidan McGarry. McGarry gets onto that left hand side, brilliantly blocked in there that time. And it just breaks out here and it's broken out towards Conlon. Flicks this one out towards Owen Conlon this time. Conlon just pops it up over the top looking for Luke O'Connor in there. O'Connor is having a mighty tussle with Phelim Duffin, and he's not getting much change out of Phelim Duffin, who didn't play the last day. I think he had a wee minor injury against Ballycastle. Just looking at the ref, I think he's a minor injury too, by the way he's not moving too freely. Yeah, Ray's had more knee operations than we've had hot dinners, I'd say, but he's still hanging in there. Rory Donaghy plays this one down in towards Niall O'Connor, who really has been their outstanding forward, and from a very tight angle he drills it across the field. Brilliant score by Niall O'Connor, his fifth of the day, I make it. And he really has been. He has been the one exceptional forward for St Enda's today. Here, I take it back. I'm watching Ray now. He can cover the ground rightly. He's getting there. He's getting there. He was a goalkeeper in his prime. He never done that much running when he played, so he's well rested. Tom McFerrin. I think Tom McFerrin did take an extra step, and Ray Matthews has signalled that he's overcarried it, and he's given the free to St Enda's, and Joe Maskey will go for it, I would say, from all of, 120 metres. He's going to drop this maybe in dangerously in on top of Ryan Elliott.
So 1-17 Dunloy. That's the 7:45 from Antrim. I have no idea what train that is. Maskey drops this one in, but drops it pretty harmlessly and very, very disappointingly to the left.
Probably the Dairy Express.
And wide. Yeah, it could be. This time Ryan Elliott flicks it short, and he goes short and cleverly short and towards it, and Keelan Malloy ends up getting onto it. Malloy, that trademark right hand side of his, but this time it lets him down. But Niall McGivern's dropped this one, he's dropped it. Oh, and he'll drill that one, and it just hit the base of the post, and that was a bit of a let off for the keeper that time.
Could have 5 goals.
Yeah, they really could, and they'll be disappointed with that. Maskey does so well that time. Takes it out, pops it out. This time Jennings gets his hands on it, steadies himself from distance, hits that one. Has it gone over the bar? I think it has. The umpire has given it the nod, and that's another good score. And that's taken St Enda's up to 13 points, and they've done well, Jerome. They've recovered well. They've got the last 2 points since that goal. Ryan Elliott again goes for that puck out right over the top, looking for Tom McFerrin that time, but that's well played by Eddie O'Connor. Eddie O'Connor gets a wee pull, but he's allowed to go on. But again, the delivery and the quality of those deliveries in just hasn't been good enough. Yeah, there was a pull on Eddie O'Connor, and Ray Matthews had let the advantage go, and now he's taken it back, and he's given the free for St Enda's just out here about the midfield line. And yeah, and just as that goal went in, you kind of got the impression that Dunloy were maybe going to push on and maybe steamroll St Enda's a bit, but they've done well. St Enda's have got the last 2 scores, and Niall O'Connor is certainly the man who's leading the charge. He's just inside his own half, drills this one on his right hand side, and that looks to have gone straight over the bar, and it has. 6 points for the night for Niall O'Connor.
So 6 in it?
Yeah, back to a 6-point game. And
ordinarily you'd say in hurling that that's not much, but it feels like a lot, and you still feel like Dunloy can add to that very quickly, yeah?
Yeah, and you do feel that Dunloy, that there's goals coming for them, you know, that sort of way. They've butchered quite a few goals, to be honest, but you do feel that they will get them and the goals will eventually come. That was a clever bit of play out towards Paul Shields, and it's something that Dunloy will be delighted with, just to get another game onto Paul Shields' legs. They kind of talk about nursing him back to fitness through the championship, and that's one of the big advantages having the championship in this format for Dunloy. Allows them to kind of let Paul Shields come through the championship game by game, and he gets better and better as the championship goes on in general, and come semi-final and final time he's usually up to full speed and he's usually flying. As Cormac Jennings goes for it again, he's been really, really good. Cormac Jennings, I make it 3 points. They're
hanging
tonight
in there.
Yeah, they are, and they're chipping away. It does have that sort of game where it has maybe a little bit of a sense of the inevitable about it, but we've said that before, and you never know. Well, it's a funny old game, as the saying goes, that St Enda's could grab a goal, and you never know, it could make the game a bit more lively. This is Luke McFerrin, who's starting to cause a lot of problems in there. He's got a goal early on in the second half, but he's well tackled that time, and Joe Maskey comes back, helps out his defence, plays this one to Niall McGivern. McGivern drives it out towards Eddie O'Connor, but standing all on his own is Kevin Malloy. Malloy goes short, sees again a man inside all on his own. That man's Tom McFerrin. McFerrin does the right thing, turns on his right hand side, clips it over the bar.
And most of their scores look like that, Johnny. They're almost like training ground scores. They're almost too easy. It's like there's no pressure on them, and yet they're still not out of sight.
Yeah, and it's probably, the game is just very open. It just feels like a really open game. It almost, I wouldn't want to say, but it kind of does almost have a sort of trainer. This is a chance brilliantly taken by Donaghy. Donaghy does brilliantly there. Gets his foot onto the ball. I think he just kicked the ball in.
I'm watching the ref. He's saying, yeah, it's okay, goal.
That's what we said. And this is what St Enda's do. If we just watch a brilliant catch by Donaghy over the top, and just, I think he frees himself up, and he does on his left foot, turns, puts it into the corner of the net, done exactly the right thing. No chance for Ryan
there. If
Elliott.
there was a goal, it could be interesting, 4 in it.
Yeah, all of a sudden. And this is where it's going to be interesting for Dunloy, because, to be honest, they have been in cruise control throughout this game. And if St Enda's can put them under a little bit of pressure, you just don't know what way this game will go. And they have been very wasteful. I've said that before. They've been wasteful up front, and there'll be frustration over there for Shane Elliott and Liam Richmond.
Well, it's made it interesting again, where you were saying it's a funny old game. Well, it can be if they get another goal.
They probably feel that the game
Freeing.
is, they probably felt that the game probably should be out of sight for them at this moment in time, but it's anything but. It's a 4-point game. We have just about 40 minutes on the clock. And after the goal went in for Dunloy, which put them 9 up, you got the feeling that it was going to be a bit of a procession for them, as Luke McFerrin, I think that's Luke McFerrin, he maybe did pick up a bit of an injury. And Luke's been called off. And we'll update you when I get my binoculars out to find out who the sub has come on.
It's a bit dark, isn't it?
It's gone a bit
Is it
dark.
me?
It's gone a bit dark. No, you're right. I'm going to blame the darkness on why I can't see who the sub is. It's come on. Sean Elliott drills this one on his right hand side. Drills it straight between the posts. And again,
He sees okay.
He sees it no problem. And it has just gone a little bit dark here at Dunsilly. Of course, we're here tomorrow. Am I right in saying we're here tomorrow?
We bit earlier. 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah,
Lochgeel Rossa.
This time Ryan Elliott goes, Niall McGivern goes out that time. Owen O'Neill there onto it, but Cormac Jennings, I don't know how he lost that ball. I think he had it pulled out of his hand. Owen O'Neill plays a lovely ball. He plays a lovely ball in there, and I think that was in towards the substitute. And the substitute who came on is Kieran Elliott, and he just popped the first one off, but he's lost out there. This has gone to Owen Conlon. Conlon, is he going to shoot? He is.
I think it's his pass. He's looking goal again.
Yeah, brilliantly taken again by Donaghy. Donaghy flicks that one out. This is an opportunity again. It's an opportunity out there. Is that a penalty?
It's got to be.
Ryan Elliott is absolutely furious. You can see it. And let's just see that again. That was brilliantly taken. He's causing a lot of problems in there, Donaghy. And he came out and took it, and you can just see there.
From behind?
Yeah, and
was there enough there, do you think?
I think it's at the substitute. Killian Jennings there just went. And it looks as if it's going to be Niall O'Connor versus Ryan Elliott. It's 1:15.
There's 5 in it, Johnny. This to go back to 2.
Yeah, the frustration will grow. And this is what we spoke about before. If St Enda's could keep themselves in the game and really start the game well, the problem in the Ballycastle game for Ballycastle was the game was done, the game was out of sight, and they never had any hope. St Enda's have done absolutely brilliantly to stay within touch in this game. 5 points down, an opportunity now to take the game to within 2 points. Niall O'Connor against his county colleague Ryan Elliott. Ryan Elliott on his toes, hits it poorly, to be totally honest, but it's broken out, and it's broken to that man Donaghy again. And Donaghy puts his shoulder straight into Ryan Elliott, which was probably unnecessary, but he scored a brilliant goal early on. I make that 2-1 that Donaghy has. You can see Niall O'Connor really didn't catch it well at all. Did the right thing, tried to hit it into the ground, but didn't catch it sweet at all. But first to react was Ryan Donaghy. He may pick up a yellow card.
Having a word here.
Yeah, there should be nothing in that. I think that was just maybe a bit of over-exuberance from the player after he got the goal.
A wee bit of verbals going on, maybe on both sides.
Yeah, he's in there talking to a couple of his former Rossa colleagues. Jimmy Shannon being one of them, who's also a pretty well respected referee himself.
He's been hurt, he's got 2 goals, and now he's probably going to get a yellow. It's been a busy 5 minutes for the big fella.
Yeah, I think a yellow's, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think a yellow's tough enough. Didn't really do much, to be honest. He done well to get in.
You really don't endear yourselves the goalkeepers every week, Johnny. You know,
yeah, well, he's also my nephew. You must remember he's also my nephew. But we'll have a laugh about that. He went down. He was in the Italian Football League. You wouldn't see a dive like that in the Italian Football League. Aidan McGarry here. Dunloy under a bit of pressure now. They're only 2 up, and they need to settle themselves. And that's a really clever ball, and it looks too easy for Kevin, and it is too easy for Kevin Malloy. And he just drives it out. Really good play in there by Aidan McGarry. Made space, looked up, seen the option. Standing all on his own was Kevin Malloy. Malloy brings it back to a 3-point game, and Dunloy needed that score. They certainly didn't want to concede another score and give St Enda's any momentum. 2-15, 21 points to St Enda's, 1-21 to Dunloy. It's a 3-point game. Here's a chance again for Cormac Jennings. Jennings pops it off, and again it's just that last pass, but Jennings gets it back. Drills this one very, very high. That looks like it's gone over. It has gone over. Brilliant score again by that man, Cormac Jennings, playing left half back. And I make it that Jennings has 4 points from play from left half back. He's been absolutely exceptional here. Over towards Owen O'Neill. Owen O'Neill drops the stick, tries to catch the ball. and it just bounces out as Tom McFerrin's putting the pressure in there on Owen Conlon. And Kieran McAllister's in battling hard too, and this time it's just bounced out of the hand of Ryan McGarry. McGarry again looking for that out ball. The out ball this time's Nicky McCaig. McCaig dances away and tries to make space. Brilliantly tackled. Oh no, Ray, I'm not sure. That looked like a really, really clean tackle. It looked as if, as it came through, to me it looked as if Niall O'Connor flicked the ball beautifully out of the player's hand, and you can see the ball came, but I'm not sure, Ray. Whenever the ball comes out, generally you assume the player has done the right thing, but maybe Ray saw something that we didn't.
He seemed to come over the shoulder there from the left-hand side, and maybe certainly the ball flew the other way. So, I mean, we've seen that a few times in this game. They've been really clean tackles, but maybe the ref didn't actually see the angle we saw it, if you like.
Yeah, it's so the score is actually 2-16 to St Enda's and 1-21 to Dunloy. So it's a 2-point game, not a 1-point
Johnny, we
game.
didn't think we'd be saying that 10 minutes ago, you know.
Oh, absolutely not. After Dunloy got the goal early on in this second half, when Luke McFerrin put that goal in, and that looks as if you've got Frank Keane coming on. Yeah, Frank was another member early on of the under-20 team this year.
Yeah, he's on for Conlon, is it?
Yeah, I
think it's Conlon.
Yeah, he's gone
captain.
off.
Yeah, he's maybe hurt himself. Doesn't usually go off.
Sean Elliott with a chance to make it a 3-point game. Drills it on his right hand side. No bother to Sean Elliott. Drills it straight between the posts, and Sean seems to have drifted out into the half forward. He seems to have moved out to the centre half forward position, allowing Aidan McGarry to go in to the full forward position.
Here, would you throw Big Joe in full forward now?
Yeah, certainly. I think of the game, that's another risky puck out by Niall McGivern, and it's just allowing Dunloy that chance to get onto the play and get easy possession. Nigel flicks it out to Sean. Sean on his right hand side. I think that's a good score, and you'll came from a bad puck out. And at this stage of the game, when St Enda's put the ball in on top of the Dunloy full-back, they are causing trouble. You know, they've won a penalty, they've got a goal.
But so they're trying to go short to hit it from there, are they?
Exactly. They need to put the ball in. That's better. Look, the space is there already for them. So they've got to try and use the ball. Frank Keane comes out this time, gets onto it, does really well, probably rushes a shot. Yeah, just had time there to take the shot. Ryan Elliott does very well, drops in on top of him. And again, just a bit more composure by Frank Keane there. He had time to get the ball delivered and just hastily drove it in. This time over there towards Mal McGibbon. McGibbon picks out a really, really good pass over towards that man again, Cormac Jennings. Jennings does really well, pops it out. And he's popped that one out to Luke O'Connor.
Oh, that's a permiss.
That's really, really I think maybe he got a bit of cramp as he was hitting it.
I was thinking there, Johnny, are they going to go for the jugular, or are they going to go in for goal, and they didn't even get a point? That was a bad mistake.
Yeah, and they have been guilty of a few of these. Owen O'Neill this time comes out to it, and what they'll be looking, and that's clever play by O'Neill. He just turned the corner, flicked it into space. McGarry now has loads of time and loads of space, and he puts over a nice point. That's made it a 5-point game.
So is this last few minutes, now man's down here so we can discuss this, is this Dunloy turning the screw, going up a level? Is it St Enda's just making a few mistakes when it gets to the white heat time of the game? And there's a couple there, they drop one into the goalkeeper, and then that last one, he put it wide. I mean, you can't do that when you get this close. No, I think a lot of it, I think it sometimes comes down to know-how, and sometimes that's just maybe the difference between having six or seven, should I say maybe more natural forwards, or forwards who are just much more natural. Dunloy seem to be able to create the space inside for each other so much easier. St Enda's, although they're creating space, it seems difficult, and they're still taking those shots on the run, and they're still rushing the shots, and sometimes just needs that wee bit of extra composure from St Enda's, and that's probably the one thing that they'll probably be disappointed about when St Enda's watch this match. Team that competes in the county championship every year, and being a team maybe that's, I suppose, just a sort of team that's there's the lights
Division
on.
1.
Somebody's put the money on. They've turned the lights on.
But
Luke O'Connor's just had a wee switch there as well. He's come out around. He's come out from the square out in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot in this game so far that St Enda's will be absolutely ecstatic with. And after a really, really good draw last week, and again, that was a tackle not dissimilar to what we seen a couple of weeks ago, where he went to blow, and then he just gave advantage. I think, look at that! I thought it was clever play, but it was poorly executed by Tom McFerrin. Flicks it out. This could be a shot here by McGibbon. McGibbon drills this one, and now dangerously on top of that man Donaghy again. But that time he was well watched and well shepherded out by Phelim Duffin. And Ryan Elliott has us underway here and over towards Keelan Malloy. Malloy takes his time, puts it onto a stick, and that was just maybe a little bit high, but Tom McFerrin's done well to get it under control. But again, all of a sudden, Dunloy's passing's maybe letting them down a little. Look, O'Connor drills this one and drills a brilliant ball into Donaghy, and he has caused so much bother. Jennings this time again turns onto his right hand side. Look at that again from Cormac Jennings. 5 points from play for the half back, and he done really well that time. He just managed to turn, get a stick on it and flick it up over the bar. 217, 124, and as for all our criticism of this St Enda's team, which we have, they are still very much in this game, and they're still playing well. This time down in towards Kieran Elliott. Elliott loses out, well defended that time by Kieran McAllister, who's been really resolute in there and done very, very well, as has this man Eddie O'Connor. On towards Mal McGibbon. He's playing as number 10, but he's sort of dropped more into that half back.
Here it comes.
Niall O'Connor drills this one. Has that just gone too far? I think it hasn't. St Enda's might be a bit better, just dropping a few of those just in on top of the edge of the big square and trying to give that man Donaghy a chance. He's causing a load of problems. Kevin Malloy plays it nicely down the line towards Ryan McGarry. McGarry changes the play, looking over in towards Shields, but first onto the ball is McAllister. Kieran McAllister over there is just lost out, but again, well defended. Manus Mullen in there. Yeah, back in towards Eddie O'Connor here. O'Connor looks for his man, doesn't want to lose it there, but he's done well. Very composed play by the midfielder. Flicks this one out towards McGibbon. McGibbon looking for his options. Now he has options over the top. Plays it over this time. That's really nice play. Really well built out there. Look at Connor now with a chance. They really need to finish this off with a score. And again, just that shot at the last moment, but it's worked out okay. Niall O'Connor, will he go for goal? He's done well. Pops it out to that man again. Donaghy brilliantly blocked that time. Really, really good defending in there. Owen McFerrin coming out. He's the first to carry the ball out.
It was Phelim Duffin. Put his body on the line.
He done really well. Got a stick onto it. McFerrin plays this one out and he continues his run on up the field. Plays that one in towards Kieran Elliott over there, but it looks as if it has just trickled out wide.
You see it again. That could be the moment of the game. Yeah, a goal there, like, come on.
In.
But he threw his body
just in. As he was having the shot, it was brilliantly blocked, as you said, by Phelim Duffin. He just got his stick and his arm across, and that could have been a hat trick in there for that man, Donaghy. This time it's drilled right down the line, and first out onto it's Frank O'Kane, but it done really well. The Dunloy defence again have done well, and they have been pretty stout in there as Ryan Elliott goes long this time, looking for his options, goes right in on top of that full forward line. And if anything, the ball's now not sticking with the Dunloy forwards at all, and Dunloy maybe look a little bit like St Enda's did in the first. They're maybe guilty of going long with balls into that box. And St Enda's are certainly starting to dominate with about 7 minutes to go. The St Enda's defence have taken over, and if they can get their shooting boots on, as that man Maskey has just done, and
great
Joe
score.
Maskey's nailed it, and that's a brilliant score. 2-18, 24 points St Enda's, 124. It's a 3-point game again.
Yeah, and plenty of time, Johnny.
Yeah, we still have just over 6 minutes to go.
Would you
here.
be worried if you were Dunloy?
Yeah, I'm not sure they'd be entirely worried, but I think they'll be very, very frustrated with their performance, and I think they'll be frustrated with, you know, maybe lapses, as they would call it. But you know, I'm not going to take anything away from St Enda's. St Enda's have been really good, and they've created a lot of chances. Now, yes, there's a chance for Sean Elliott. Will he be clinical here? And again, that
not
man,
the finish.
Yeah, not the finish again. And I think that's where they'll be so frustrated. Again, brilliant play, lovely work, made the space, done exactly the right thing, but just the final execution of that final shot on goal. I would imagine
another save too.
Yeah, I would imagine over the next week or two, the Dunloy management will be doing a lot of work on their shooting, a lot of work on their forward play, and a lot of work on taking goals. I think what Ray Matthews did spot on there was pretty eagle-eyed of him. He spotted the tug.
I spotted it too.
Yeah,
on a replay.
That. Yeah, he spotted a tug on Sean Elliott's jersey, and this is to bring us back to a 4-point game. Sean, who's got 8 points to his name, he's just about to make it 9. Drills it straight between the posts, and that just keeps that
5 to go
little glimmer of comfort.
Is it a little glimmer? I mean, they go up here, then they're 4 down, they get a goal here, and it's not impossible the way they've been playing,
No, absolutely. It just gives Dunloy maybe a bit more of a comfort blanket. Kevin Malloy looks here, just plays at route one, right in on top of Kieran Elliott there. This time it's broken, and it looked as if it could have broken dangerously. Niall O'Connor, who's covered every blade of grass in this field. 1 minute he's back.
Caught him.
That was Nigel Elliott that time who ran, and it did look as if he just ran, and maybe I don't think there was malice there. It was
we
a shoulder.
thought that a couple of weeks ago. You don't know how to read these sometimes, Johnny. You don't know. Yeah. Is this a yellow? Is it a red?
I think it's a yellow.
I think you're right, but we just don't always know.
I think sometimes what you can see sometimes is that the player's stick may sometimes occasionally look as if the stick's gone across the face guard, and that's more dangerous. But I think Nigel genuinely went. I think that's just maybe the case of a wee one hitting a big one sometimes, and it just came out wrong.
Here, by the way, before we forget, or I forget, there's a Glenariff man over there with St Enda's on the sideline, by the way, of course, Mick Kearney.
Yes, Mick played for Cushendall growing up, so he might as all of his sons now are proud Glenariff men, but Mick might have a bone to pick with you about saying but he's an adopted Glenariff man, and we're proud to have him as 3 sons. That one has gone. I think the St Enda's crowd thought it was over.
They certainly did. And they're watching it from that side right behind the ball, but the first umpire was a little bit tentative, and then they both agreed.
Yeah, so it was wide. But yeah, Mickey's been with St Enda's now a few years. Of course, Mickey McCambridge was their previous manager who brought Mickey in, and he coached our under-20 team a few years ago to a county under-20 title, and we've lost him to the dark side up in Glengormley. We've lost him to the Hightown Road. But
Sean Elliott? No, Nicky McCaig's gone off.
Yeah, Nicky's gone off.
I'll try and spot it. Come on, you follow the game.
Yeah, this one's been popped over. But again, you can see what's happening in the game.
Yeah.
St Enda's are starting to break the ball down, and if they could just make these chances count. Owen McFerrin looks as if he's going to get there first. I think that one. No, he has. He's done well, Owen McFerrin, this time. He's being chased by that man Donaghy, and he's worked so hard. Keelan Malloy stretching his legs, heading up the pitch here. That could be a foul. Lets the play go on. Malloy on his right hand side has pulled it to the right and wide. I would imagine that Ray Matthews may take this back.
What does that signal mean? He's got his arms out wide.
He's just given a wide, and I don't think he has stopped the play.
I think Eamon Smith's in, or was he already in?
No, Eamon Smith. Yeah, Eamon Smith has come on. You're right.
Yeah, he's in.
So as we say, Nicky McCaig has gone off.
So 2 to go, Johnny, and there'll be an extra couple of minutes at least, you would imagine. How's Shane feeling there?
Yeah, I think Shane's he's getting very grumpy. He's getting very grumpy and carnaptious in his old age. His wife will tell you that.
You're just winding up your whole family and this,
He's standing smiling there, so he's obviously not desperately concerned just yet. But a St Enda's goal, or a couple of quick St Enda's points, and he certainly would be a little bit more worried as Dermy Maguire comes out, drills this one down onto that right corner. First out onto it's Frank Keane. Frank pops it over the top, and again it's just that execution just hasn't been just good enough at times. A foul on Oran Quinn. He's been really good, and he's been really tight in there, and hasn't given the St Enda's, his opposite number from St Enda's, an awful lot of game today.
But 2-18 some score for St Enda's against Dunloy. I mean, to do that.
They've done really well, and they started the game with an absolute bang. And if you remember, they had a period there for almost 15 minutes in that first half where they didn't score. Yeah, they've come out in this second half, and whenever we felt, as I say, Dunloy went, I think, 9 points up when they got that goal. You felt as if the game was just, you felt it was going to end up a 20-point drubbing. But they've done brilliantly, and they've showed great character to come back into the game, and they've made it a really good spectacle. And they've definitely frustrated this Dunloy team, and I think Dunloy will be glad to get this one over, to tell you the truth. I think that's Sean Elliott from way out on the right, and that one's gone to the right and wide. And Dunloy have been guilty of probably taking a few pot shots in this second half themselves that they won't be entirely delighted with. So we're almost at the 60-minute mark.
I'd say 3 minutes.
Yeah, Kieran McAllister comes out, pops this one off towards Dermy. Maguire looking for Luke O'Connor over there. O'Connor just misses his pick, and he's being tackled there by Owen Connor. When he gets away from him, that's a nice ball again, and towards Frank Keane, who's done well since coming on. But again, it's just the execution of that last one. But that time, that lets Dunloy down. This time breaking through for them is Killian Jennings. Jennings was fouled. Yeah.
Well, here, Johnny, here's the scenario. Point here, and then there's a goal in it.
Yeah, Jennings has done well since coming on, and he's certainly given himself a chance of getting a starting place the next day. Jennings, of course, was the one who won that penalty earlier on, and he's very physical, and he's a direct hard runner. And this is an opportunity as we go red, and we're into the 61st minute. It's a 4-point game, and I would say Niall O'Connor will drill this between the posts. He's asking Ray Matthews how long is left.
I'm sure he is.
And I would imagine there are probably still a couple more minutes to go, so there's still time for O'Connor. Drills this straight between the posts. I make that 7 for the night for O'Connor.
It's possible.
And
it's all about these puckouts, and the puckouts have been huge on either side because Ryan's would be just so good.
Yeah, took a last-minute point against St John's a couple of weeks ago, and this time it comes off the head of Tom McFerrin, and first on to it is the centre half-back Keelan Malloy. Surely he's not going to break through and get a goal at this stage of the game. Brilliantly saved again by that man, Niall McGivern. I make that 5 saves.
Oh, it's about 7.
This time it's broken over, and it's been missed over there by the Dunloy man. Niall McGivern's going to grab this ball. If he's looking up the field, St Enda's attacker should be bursting for this ball. But they're not. Why are they not moving? Rory Donaghy does decide to move, and he's made a good move, and there's a load of space for him. And this one's just going to be, he done really well, Donaghy, that time, but this time it's broken off.
He has it.
To him there, and it's Eamon Smith, as you say, has come on, brilliantly tackled there by Tom McFerrin. And it's Nigel Elliott, who's hard running, really has been exceptional today. I thought he was brilliant against Ballycastle. That is a foul.
And that should be it.
Yeah, that's a foul that makes a big difference, and it's probably just going to close the game out.
Do you know, before the game there was somebody saying they had a word with Shane coming in, and Shane described this one as a banana skin. You know, it's a sort of game that if they don't win it by 10, they haven't done well. But that's maybe unfair in St Enda's, but from a Dunloy point of view, is that how they look at it?
Yeah, I think that's a sort of perfect synopsis, and you could say Dunloy maybe have played like hot favourites that didn't handle that tag particularly well. They've been points from play from a left half back. He's been exceptional tonight. Owen Quinn over there battling again, but is there going to be another opportunity? Frank Keane does well, gets it, but just lets it get out of his hands as Owen McFerrin comes out.
That's it.
And McFerrin gets a stick onto it, and it's very much a case of job done for Dunloy. 127, 30 points Dunloy, 219, but St Enda's 25, a 5-point game. And I'm not sure. I think probably people would say that's probably just about the right scoreline. I think Dunloy always maybe looked as if they were comfortable, but certainly St Enda's made it anything but comfortable for them. They put up resistance, and for a team that looked dead and buried a few minutes into the second half, St Enda's came back, showed a massive amount of heart and a massive amount of grit, and maybe with a little bit more composure in front of goal, they would have been a little.
Well, they got a couple of cracking
closer.
ones, you know,
Yeah.
as well. But listen, where does it lead the group now, Johnny? Because there's another game on Sunday, Ballycastle against St John's in this group, and then the last round of games is Ballycastle against St Enda's and St John's against Dunloy.
I think everyone always felt about this group, and especially I think St Enda's always felt at the start of the year that this was going to come down to them and Ballycastle for that, for that bottom spot. Now that may not be the case necessarily, but St Enda's have done well. St Enda's have gotten the draw against St John's, which is going to maybe take it into goal difference. But I think St Enda's have always known they will have to go to Ballycastle in the last game and win, and it's been actually that scenario for a few times for them. I think they've played so. I think on what we've seen tonight, St Enda's will hold no fear. I think they've played really, really well. They had a powerful performance against St John's. They got a draw there and played really well, and I think they've come out again and backed that performance up with a really good performance. But ultimately for St Enda's, the big test will be the Ballycastle game, and that's the game they're going to have to perform. But I think if they can perform like they did tonight, they could get through this group, because of course third place still takes you through to a quarter-final on the other side.
And with the scoring difference, I mean, they've done themselves a few favours tonight by getting so close to Dunloy, and it sort of puts the pressure on the other two.
Yeah, Dunloy, of course, look as if Dunloy will have to go to St John's in that last game. So St John's, I do think, have a few players back. I know they had a few injuries against St Enda's, but they have a few players back, and St John's will be a stronger team. That'll be an interesting game to see them against Ballycastle, because that really is two teams that probably were disappointed with the way they performed. Certainly Ballycastle were very poor, and I think St John's were disappointed at how they played against St Enda's as well. But maybe Sunday's game, it's Sunday, am I right?
Yep.
Yeah, Sunday's game between Ballycastle and St John's, I think will be a really, really good game, as will the game tomorrow night.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, Lougheed, Rossa, interesting one afterward. Rossa,
fortunately for them, they played Carey in that first round. It was ultimately for them maybe a bit of a nothing game. Won the game very easy. They picked up, and I think they did pick up a red card, and they also lost young Jack McCluskey, who's a big, big loss for them. So, if anything, and again, on paper, and I always have to say this, but on paper, Ross are maybe coming into that game as slight favourites, and that's maybe surprising considering Lougheed had a good win on the first day and Rossa were beat. But I would look at it thinking it's at a neutral venue. Just what I've seen of that Rossa team, that they look like a team that maybe have turned a bit of a corner, and of course I could be wrong. I'm very regularly wrong, as you know, but I think they just maybe will take a little bit of belief out of that Cushendall performance, because of course Cushendall have 2 times county champions and very, very strong team, and they did play most of that game with 14 men, what you have to remember, and if they hadn't, who knows how that game would have went. But I still, I put it as maybe Rossa by 2 or 3 in the game tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to the game on Sunday as well, because I think that's going to be a cracker. And it kind of has a feeling this year that all of these games are a little bit more important than they have been. I think Dunloy now maybe obviously felt since their first day they were going to come through. So there's always that Dunloy Cushendall thing where you always feel they're going to come through. But there just feels like a little bit more jeopardy now on the other side. Who else is going to come through?
Yeah, all the games seem to count. They're alive and the teams are stepping up. But I'd say you've probably done the team talk for Lougheed.
Well, I think I've done the same for St Enda's. because I think they had. I think they were saying.
Well, their manager did it too. He was in the newspaper saying that they were 10-1 tonight. So it does work that way. But he's got a vested interest. You don't.
Not really, no. I tend to say what we can see in paper. So, after in the first round of matches, you've seen a St Enda's team that were, again, probably struggled, didn't really have a very good league campaign, didn't do an awful lot in the league, and a St John's team who seemed to be going very well. So, again, and that's probably how you looked at that first one. Yeah, I kind of just think maybe, and as I say, I just think maybe tomorrow's game will be a good one, and it'll come down to probably a few key battles tomorrow. James McNaughton's so important. I just think the loss of Jack McCluskey, and if I'm right, and I say I want to just, I'll need to check that tonight, but I think Ryan McMullen may have picked up a straight red in that game against Carey, and that means Lougheed are down two of their main scoring forwards, which will really hurt them, and that puts even more pressure onto James McNaughton. So if Rossa can curtail James McNaughton and they can get their attack going, which they did well last week or a couple of weeks ago, I think Rossa will be. And
they had a red as well. Owen Owen Traynor.
2 yellows, 2 yellows,
okay,
of course, so he'll be fine to play. Yeah, I think it's just so obviously Jack with the bad injuries out for quite a period, and I think maybe it was a straight red in that game. But look, time will tell, and we'll know more tomorrow. And I'll say that to give a boost. So doubtless Lougheed will come out tomorrow and beat them by 15 points just to scupper.
I'm trying to get that match report. There was a red, but of course there was a red for the goalkeeper for the challenge.
There was the Carey goalkeeper got a red, and the Carey full-back I think also got a straight red card. But I think there was an incident where the Lougheed player also got a straight red card. I think it might have been young Ryan McMullen.
Ryan McMullen.
You're fact checking me here. You're fact checking me here, and I could be talking through.
Well, they do it to Trump, so I do it to you as well, But he's
thanks
completely wrong.
Thanks for that comparison. Thanks. I wish I had his money.
Yeah, they have somebody waiting all the time for everything he says. Understandably, you're not quite that bad now. No, I don't see the straight red here, but I would never doubt you, Johnny. Well, I would actually, but I would always be willing to realise that I could well be wrong.
Someone
and you're
someone
usually
will
right.
text us. If there's someone listening, can you text us in and let us know?
All right. Listen, it's good fun as usual, and thanks for that, Johnny. And I hope people enjoyed the coverage in the end. Again, apologies for what happened earlier on. As I say, we tried to do the right thing and make it available to everybody free. That was the right thing. So hope you all enjoyed it and saw a really good second half actually. And don't worry, we will sort out the refunds and everything else. Unfortunately, these kind of things happen. They're out of our hands. We try to sort it out and try to do our best, but like I say, we put it out there and put it in social media for everyone to watch the second half, and it nearly turned out to be a fantastic second half for everyone to see, and we'll put a few clips in social media as well. And normal service will be resumed tomorrow. So back here at Dunsilly, 6 o'clock start, Lougheed against Rossa tomorrow. For now, bye bye.